It's a video for all you Americans out there, the ones that care about this country and are concerned where our country is going. You should watch the judiciary meeting on domestic terrorism. That was like 2 days ago. It's about 4 hours long. I know it's long, but it's very interesting, and all Americans should watch it because this concerns us all. The Democrats brought forth their witnesses. There's like 3 black people, one white guy who used to work in the terrorism department or whatever. And all they could rail on about was white supremacy, white nationalism. This is the greatest threat. Every single one of them. Just on and on and on about white supremacy. The one black, she's like a freshman congresswoman, young, crazy. With Black Lives Matter fist in the back. Every time the camera came to her, everything was about, I'm a black woman and I'm oppressed, and this is the greatest threat, this white supremacy, and for 400 years my people have been oppressed, and blah, 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 just crazy, out of her mind. And for 4 hours long they did this. Every time it came to one of the Democrats' witnesses, it went right back to race, right back to white supremacy. This is the greatest threat. What happened on January 6th? January 6th, every single one of them. January 6th, January 6th, January 6th. Over and over and over. Now the Republicans called one witness, only one witness, Andy Ngo, Andy Ngo's the man. Everybody should read his book, Unmasked. Andy Ngo is talking the truth here. And so he gave the truth. Talked about Antifa, the Black Lives Matter protests, what Antifa's doing, who Antifa is, what they believe in, what they've been doing in Portland and across the country. Then Gomert, I think he's from Texas, he got up and he played a video because one of the big lies that they're talking about is like there was all Trump supporters, it was all white supremacists on January 6th that caused this insurrection, right? And he's like, well, there's this guy John Sullivan. He a known Antifa on camera. He's the guy that took the video of Ashley Babbitt getting shot. He's on camera telling rioters to get into the building and break shit. He's on video telling police officers, bro, you guys better stand down because we're taking this shit over. Known Antifa. Known. He also showed another video of him. This was like months before January 6th. He's in front of the White House on a microphone talking about how we're going to go in there, we're going to rip Donald Trump out of there, and we're going to burn this shit down. Okay? He's on video admitting he's in Antifa. Okay, so this destroys the narrative that it was just conservative white supremacists there. Okay, this is one of the main guys there during the riots, and he's a known Antifa. And then the other senator or Congress, it was either Hawley or Gates, I think. He showed a video of all these riots that went on during the summertime and the fall. Them attacking Minnesota, them attacking the federal building with power tools, trying to cut down the fence, the autonomous zone, all over the country. Showed all these riots that happened, all these riots that were perpetrated by Antifa or BLM. And then he asked one of the black guys on the panel, "Hey, would you call this domestic terrorism? Yes or no?" And the black guy's like, "Well, and he's like, "No, it's a simple yes or no answer." And the black guy said, "Well then no, that's civil disobedience." And this went on for 4 hours. Every time it came to the Democrats' witnesses, it was all about white supremacy, white supremacy, white supremacy, white nationalism. Domestic terrorism is perpetrated by the right. No mention of all this shit that went on for months and months after that man died in Minnesota. I mean, they burned down that city. Kenosha, Wisconsin, they burned down that city. Riots in New York, riots in Chicago, looting, Atlanta, Louisville, LA, Portland, Seattle. You can go on and on and on. This happened all summer long. For 120 days straight, they laid siege to that building in Portland. 120 days straight. How do I know this? Because they streamed their shit. I watched this shit for like 100 something days straight. Every day they attacked that building. Every day they threw fireworks, Molotov cocktails, bricks, glass, frozen water bottles, bottles full of shit and piss, green lasers in their eyes, attacking the building, causing all this damage. That's terrorism. What happened in Chaz? They took over that thing. Residents couldn't leave the autonomous zone. People got murdered in there. That's terrorism. In Oakland, they shot those federal police officers. That's terrorism. In Atlanta, they burnt down the Wendy's. That's terrorism. Chicago, they looted for how many days straight? Terrorism. Kenosha, Wisconsin, burned the city down. Terrorism. This is all terrorism. Not a word about it from the Democrat side during this whole 4-hour-long meeting. And when the Republicans brought it up, none of them said anything either. Just pretended like it didn't happen. And the head of the thing, Lee Jackson, a black woman, at the end of it, after all that testimony, she's like, I just want to mention that, this is the greatest threat, white supremacy, and this is the head of the thing, who's supposed to be non-biased. So this is basically saying what they're going to do. They're going to label all conservatives as domestic terrorism if they don't agree. That's what they're going to do. If you voted for Donald Trump, you support white supremacy. If you have conservative views, you support white supremacy. And then look at the bills they're trying to pass. Reparations. That's not going to unify the nation. The Equality Act. That's not going to unify the nation. Yeah, it sounds nice, Equality Act, but really, it's just about giving transgenders the rights to push their insane ideology. I'm not saying that transgenders should be persecuted. Hey, if you want to believe you're a woman when you're really a man, that's your choice. It's scientifically wrong, but you can believe whatever you want to believe. And you shouldn't be able to compete as a woman because you're not a woman. Scientifically, biologically, you're not a woman. But that's what this bill is trying to do. That's not going to unify the nation. There's a gun bill, right? That's not going to unify the nation. Taking away people's guns, people that have never broken any laws, right? They want to ban assault rifles. How are they going to do that? There's millions and millions of people that legally and rightfully own an assault rifle. What are they going to do if they pass this bill? Hey, turn in your guns? No, they're not. So what is that going to do? All these things, you could go on and on and on with all these things you're trying to pass in this administration. And it's all bad for the country, and it's all to divide us. This domestic terrorism thing, it's scary because you could be labeled a domestic terrorist if you supported the president. You could be labeled a domestic terrorist if you own a gun. You could be labeled a domestic terrorist if you went to the Capitol on January 6th. You may not have participated in the riots, but you were there. That's where this is going. And they went on and on and on about January 6th. And they're missing the biggest point of it, I think, is why did January 6th happen? Why did it happen? They would say white supremacy. But no, the real reason why it happened was because what happened during the summer and the fall with all the Black Lives Matter, Antifa riots, all that shit that went on, $2 billion of damage, 700 officers injured, just attacking federal buildings, attacking businesses, rioting, looting, all this shit that went on was tolerated. Nobody talked about it. Oh, Antifa is a myth. Oh, it's not domestic terrorism, it's civil disobedience. Oh, Kamala Harris said, oh, you should donate to their bailout fund. All this was tolerated. And so the extremists on the right, because let's be honest, there's extremists on both sides of the aisle, They look at this and go, well, if they're getting away with it, we can get away with it. And so that's why January 6th happened. Not because of some white conspiracy theory or because of insurrection or any of that. That's why it happened. The radicals on the right decided they'd had enough. And I'm not condoning what they did because they should be in jail. All those people that went into the Capitol should be in jail and deserve to be punished. But you're talking a small minority of the people who were there. Are we going to demonize all the people that were there at the Capitol because of what a few people did? I mean, if we're going to do that, then we should demonize all the protesters all over the country, millions and millions of them, because of what a few people did. Right? I mean, that's the logic we should use. The left doesn't look at it that way. Civil disobedience. So like, if you're doing it in the name of racial justice, or even in Antifa's case, throwing over the government, but you're on the left, if you do it, then it's civil disobedience. If you're on the right, you're a domestic terrorist. That's how they're going to define this. And we knew this is how this was going to go because they made it clear in so many terms. The way they went after the president, the way they demonized the president for something he had nothing to do with. It's ridiculous. And if we as Americans don't wake up to this and see what's going on in front of our eyes, this is just one of the steps to authoritarian control. Ooh, scary. That's the conspiracy. No, is it? Is it a conspiracy? I don't think so. I don't think so at all. I mean, it's happening. If you look at any country that went through this in the past, the first things they do, they start to control your speech. Then they start to control your business. Then they take away your guns. Then they demonize one side of the aisle. Right? What's next? Then they start locking you up. That's what's next. Destroy the economy. Right? This is all shit out of the fucking communist playbook. And it's happening right here in America. And all you guys on the left, you guys are just allowing it to happen. Pretending like it's not possible. If we're not careful, you're going to wake up one day and realize how you contributed to this. You may not think you're contributing to it, but by turning a blind eye and dismissing other people's rights that have just as much rights as you do in America. In America, the Bill of Rights isn't just for one side of the aisle. It's for everybody. And if you don't believe that, then you're not an American. You're not an American if you don't believe that. That's what our country is founded on. So, and that's just one hearing. That's just one hearing. They had the hearings on reparations the other day. They had the hearings, the Equality Act, which they passed anyway, right? I mean, these Republicans are arguing in these committees and in these hearings, but like it's a moot point because the Democrats control both houses and the presidency. It doesn't matter. They'll just pass it anyway. Like this coronavirus bill. They're just going to pass it anyway. And you should read the damn thing. It's 500 pages long. You should read the damn thing. Like 1% of it or 2% of it goes to coronavirus. The rest goes to all this other shit that has nothing to do with coronavirus. So why are we passing it? Why are we passing it? Because it's what the left wants. The left wants total control. So, yeah, as it goes on and on and on, I don't want to hate you guys. I don't. But with every step you guys take, my hatred grows. And I don't want to hate you guys. I don't agree with you guys. I think you guys are out of your mind, but I don't hate you. Not yet. But it's getting there. And so you see how this is going to divide the nation. Look what they did in 1 year. In 1 year, our country is unrecognizable. Unrecognizable. And it's only getting worse. So I hope other Americans see this and do their part and research. And if you're on the fence or you're a Democrat who's not okay with this, but you still voted for it, but now you're having second thoughts, there's still shit you can do. You can still change your ideology and change your mindset. But to just go along with it, you're just a sheep. Bah. And a lemming. So please, half the country, I'm talking to you. Half the country that are truly idiots.